Everybody, Bennett for the Blue Podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl Team Guides Wood Elves. We're going through every team in Blood Bowl 2025, Blood Bowl Season 3, and we're having a look at the changes, we're having a look at the players, and we're having a look at what roster you can run if you go to the shop and pick up a box of Wood Elves. Now, Wood Elves have had a bit of a journey. They were amazing, then they were okay. Let's see how they end up in Season 3. Okay, so the most important thing about Wood Elves is that they still have a Wardancer, and the Wardancer is still pretty awesome. Right, where's my little thing? There's the little thing, and onwards to the Wood Elf team. So, Wood Elves, 0 to 8 rerolls, 50k, still low. Tier 1, I still think so. They can have an Apothecary, and they get a choice of Elven Kingdoms or Woodland League. And that's basically just going to mean which inducements they can take, which stars they can take, and stuff like that. So, onwards to the roster here. So, the Wood Elf roster, you still get all of your linemen, 16 of them. You get 2 of your throwers. You get 2 of your Wardancers. You now only get 2 of the catchers. Now, the catchers are a pretty good piece. They are fragile, they're fast, but they are, in fact, fragile. Being Strength 2 and Armor 8+, even though they start with Dodge, it does make them a bit vulnerable. Look at Gutter Runners. And being able to have 2 of them on the roster, it's not, I don't think, as big of a deal with Wood Elves, because running more than that of Strength 2 can and has kind of historically felt a bit risky. Wood Elves are not the toughest of things anyway, despite having what could be considered the best lineman in the game stat-wise. Yeah. Anyway, we'll ignore that. We'll come back to that, shall we say. So, Wood Elf throwers, they gained a skill called Safe Pair of Hands. Now, I can't remember if they had Safe Pair of Hands in the last edition, and I think that pretty much just exemplifies the fact that Safe Pair of Hands wasn't the kind of skill you'd elect to choose, but it can be kind of useful. If this player would be knocked down, fall over, or placed prone while in possession of the ball, then they become prone. They may place the ball in an adjacent unoccupied square to the square they become prone in, instead of bouncing as normal. That's a very wordy way to say that when these guys go down, instead of the ball randomly scattering on a d8, bouncing, they get to choose where it goes. Yeah. Look, you don't want your thrower to get hit, but sometimes he may get hit, and it's going to be a little bit of a boon just to be able to be like, right, let's put the ball here now. I can't sell it any better than that. It's the kind of skill you don't want to use. This is why I'm not a huge fan of Dump Off. Like, Dump Off is pretty good. It keeps the drive going. But for it to work, you have to get attacked. And when your Strength 3 Armor 8+, no combat skill piece gets attacked, it's not going to go very well. So, you get all the linemen, still 2 throwers, still 2 Wardancers, and I'm not going to bury the lead. The Wardancers still look really, really, really good in this edition. I don't think they've got better, and I don't think they've got worse, and I don't think they need to. There's a couple of things floating out in the meta that may have changed a little bit, and I know you guys get a little bit excited when I say this, but a couple more teams have got access to tackle straight out the bat, which does downgrade the Wardancers a little bit, and a couple of teams have got better access to stab pieces, which again can be useful for countering a Wardancer piece. But they still fly around. They're still just like, they're all right. They're all right. 2 of the catchers, and then you can take the Treeman. And the Treeman's a really interesting one on the Wood Elves, because he's the price of 2 linemen, but actually durability-wise, he probably lasts longer than 2 linemen. So it's a really interesting investment for Wood Elves. I quite like the Treeman. It gives you a bit of removal. However, he will get left alone very quickly with the rest of this team. Okay, so let's talk through the players and the positionals. We've got the Wood Elf lineman with no skills, 65k, movement 7, strength 3, edge 2+, passing 3+, armor 8+. Now, I would like a bit better armor, but you don't often get movement 7 with armor 9+. And I think there's a good reason for that. This stat line is wicked. This is the kind of lineman that literally can do anything, okay? Movement 7 is fast enough to be a runner. Edge 2+ is fast enough to be a catcher, or a ball carrier, or a blitzer. Strength 3 is perfectly serviceable. And the fact they've got passing 3+ means that actually your Wood Elves, even if they've got the ball and they don't want to keep it, they're a better than even pass away. Movement 7, Edge 2+ is a huge amount of space, right? You can probably get to where you want to go. But if you can't quite reach, Yeah, if you think about it, they got 2 rushes on a 2+, or you could take basically the pass on the 3+. It's an interesting one. What else are going to be able to distribute the ball? All the elf teams with that passing 3+, it just keeps you in the game. And this is something I think this edition has done really, really, really well, is you always have options. You always have choices. It's really cool. Right, skills-wise, agility and general on a primary, which is cool. You can still take randoms on those. It's 3 SPP for a random. You roll twice and pick, which is wicked. 6 SPP to choose, or 10 SPP for go for a double. So when it comes to Wood Elves, they've got pretty reasonable access to strength, because Wood Elves, all right, they may die. But 10 SPP is not the most insurmountable, right? It's a couple of touchdowns and an MVP. When you're running Wood Elves, that's insanely doable. So you could end up with some guard Wood Elves. Probably not where you're going to go, given that you get agility in general on a random, let alone on a chosen. These guys with dodge is fantastic. You do want some block pieces, but Wood Elves linemen are already fantastic. So they wouldn't be my first pick to take a random general, because they're already quite costly, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Would I like a block Wood Elf lineman? Yeah. Sure hands? Yeah. Wrestle? Yeah. Tackle? Yeah. All right, yeah. I've talked myself into it. I love the Wood Elf lineman. Very useful player. They're just going to be disengaging, and they just don't get punched, and they'll be fine. Okay, so now the thrower. Very good thrower. Not one of the best throwers in the game, but not bad either. Movement 7 means that this player is going to be able to get to the ball wherever it is. Backed up by Edge 2+ means you've got to dodge when you've got the ball. You can pick up the ball without having to secure the ball on a 2+. It just means that the Wood Elf thrower is going to be able to get to the ball and get it one way or another. Strength 3 is okay. Passing 2+ is magic. And Armor 8+ again is okay. So the theme of this list is they are fast, they are agile, they can do everything you want them to do, but if they get caught, there's a very good chance they're going to go splat. So strength 3 and armor 8+ with no combat skills is a vulnerable thing, but the thrower here, its skill set with passing 2+ and pass at a bargain of 75k. Are you serious? No, it's 85k. All right, that makes a lot of sense. All right, we fixed that. Yeah, I thought 75k was an absolute bargain for the Wood Elf thrower. 85k, yeah, fine. Still very good price, but not just 10k more for some wicked stats. Safe pair of hands, we kind of already talked about it. It's not really going to come up. But the cool thing about the Wood Elf thrower is that you've got a lot of stuff you can do with him. Now, passing 2+ and pass clearly means you want to be throwing the ball with this player. Because even though he's 20k more than a lineman, not 10k, I got excited there, stats-wise is exactly the same. He's just got a little bit better at throwing, and he gets the pass re-roll in there. So actually, there's not going to be a huge amount that a Wood Elf thrower can do that a standard lineman can't. So if you're going to take the thrower, you do want that passing ability. So actually, him being a quarterback, and you're going to have a couple of catches, you're going to have a couple of Wardancers who are honorary catchers. You've got people that you can chuck the ball to. So leveraging that 2++ at 3 squares, and with movement 7 and 3++ at 6 squares, like you can actually afford to live in the pocket maybe a little bit and just kind of actually drop the ball to who you want them to draw. So there's a couple of cool things you can take here. Accurate gives you a 1+ pass on a quick pass. 1 is obviously going to fail, but a 2++ after 7 squares of movement for another 6 squares of throw is very tempting, right? But then you've got, okay, do I actually want to give him block and dodge? Do I want to make him a ball carrier? I think if you're going to take a Wood Elf thrower, you want to lean into the throwing. So there's some really cool skills you can take for him. I like Cannoneer. I like Accurate. I like On the Ball if you're going to keep your drives nice and fast. But when it comes to the Wood Elf thrower, if you're not throwing, don't take him. But it's pretty fun to do it. And who are you going to be throwing to? You might think, oh, the catcher, obviously, Ben. And yeah, sometimes you're going to throw to the catcher. The rest of the time, you're going to want to get the ball probably to the Wardancer. So movement 8, strength 3, edge 2+, passing 3+, armor 8+, block, dodge, and leap. This is the perfect player. I would like him to be movement 9. Yeah, he does have passing 3+. This is the superstar of players, and the Wardancer is definitely number 1 on the list of players you need to kick in the head when they're on the ground. Gutter runners, they've dropped a bit now. Not having 4 of them means that they're not quite such a threat. Wardancers, though, can do everything. This is the really interesting thing about this positional. The block, dodge, leap means that they can get to wherever they need to get to. Whether they are going to get the ball and then score, or whether they're going to go and take the ball off you, dancers are pretty good. Now, leap is not often going to be the best thing you do. You've got block and dodge, so it means that there's actually going to be some times, because of the dodge integral reroll, you want to take a dodge into a cage instead of leaping into it. But there's going to be some times where that leap is just going to be really useful. Don't leap for the sake of it. Just have it there as a part of your toolkit. The fact your movement 8, strength 3, edge 2+ with blodge is probably going to be enough to do stuff. Now, when it comes to skills for the Wardancer, you can take block. No, they've already got it. But dodge, they've already got that too. That means your Wardancer can get a bit saucy. So you can take all of the fun skills, strip ball, tackle, just to try and take the ball away. They've got general skills, tackle. Yeah, the tackle bit makes them a really good safety. But the fact is, you can take sidestep or sprint or sure feet to make them even faster. Absolutely. Hit and run could be quite fun on a Wardancer as well. Flying up there 8 squares, punching a guy with blodge, getting a free square move away. Oh, I do like that. I think we're going to see some hit and run Wardancers. But you've also got the potential there of saving up to 10 SPP. You've got passing skills. Let's just double check that, because that could give you a Nerves of Steel Wardancer, which would be quite interesting. Yeah, Nerves of Steel Wardancer, and strength means you can also take a cheeky bit of break tackle for this player and making them a 1+ dodge. Row could be useful as well. They're likely to be operating alone. Maybe the second Wardancer will be there to support them. So being able to 3+ re-roll a dice from your pickup roll, from your leap roll, from your block pool, like, it's actually pretty good. A pro Wardancer is not a bad multi-tool. There's some really cool stuff you can do with Wardancers. Oh my god, am I going to become a Wood Elf coach? Oh. Now, these guys are not gutter runners, but the Wood Elf catcher is pretty close. Movement 8, strength 3, edge 2+. Sorry, movement 8, strength 2, edge 2+, passing 4+, armor 8+. They are very similar to gutter runners. 90k, catch, dodge, and sprint. It's a cool little mix of skills here. The fact is, you can get a second set of movement 8 dodges. Now, being strength 2 makes them very vulnerable. Having run gutter runners a lot, it's very vulnerable. That dodge does, though, help you out a little bit. I forgot about steady footing being a skill you could put on your Wardancer. Ooh, that's tempting too. Right, but they've got agility and general, and when it comes to these guys, they are going to be your primary ball carriers. The Wardancer is just built so well to be the ball sacker. If he can leap into a place, he can dodge into a place, he's already got block, he's got strength 3, he's going to be pretty primed. Dauntless could be fun. With these guys, they're going to be the primary catcher. Okay, this is one of those times in Blood Bowl where the player is actually named to what they want to do. So block is going to be great for these guys, just to keep them standing, but you've got a whole bunch of cool stuff you can do with the Wood Elf catcher. I would be tempted here to save to 14 SPP. They've already got dodge, so the survivability is a little bit there. You could just take block really nice and easy. There's a couple of cool things you can do. I do think maybe a cheeky stat up is worth a punt on a Wood Elf catcher. Movement 9, yeah, sign me up. Strength 3 becomes a monstrous play. It's a bit of a risk. It's not likely to happen, but that is a really interesting proposition. Edge 1+ just becomes an absolute score machine. Passing is of no use. Armor could even be quite good. So a stat up on a Wood Elf catcher could be really good. Catch is going to receive the ball. Because you've got secondaries, you can also take Nerves of Steel. You can also take Break Tackle, so he can be a 1+ dodge that way. You can have that Nerves of Steel to just be 2+ catching anywhere in the world forever. Like, there's a ton of cool stuff you can do with the catchers. Where you've only got 2, you want to be kind of a little bit more cagey. So I think we're going to see the Wood Elves be your safeties. So strip ball, wonderful. Tackle, wonderful. The catchers, bit of block, and then sidestep and stuff like that to be a cheeky one-turn touchdown threat in the long run. But definitely primed for a stat up. And then you've got the Treeman. So movement 2, strength 6, edge 5+, passing 5+, armor 11+, 120k here, loner 4+, but mighty blow. Stand firm, strong arm, take root, thick skull, throw teammate. So the role of a Treeman on the Wood Elf team, he is going to get wildly left behind. Okay, Wood Elves are the most dodge back team imaginable. You put your guys on the line, any of them who survive, they disengage on a 2+, and you don't even play on the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage does not exist to you. It is a concept that you do not even want to consider. The Lineman, the Treeman makes that a little bit different. Now, Treeman, They're going to get left behind. Movement 2 sucks compared to the movement 7 of the slowest player on the rest of the team. But strength 6 with Mighty Blow and Stand Firm is really, really pretty good. The fact they're armor 11 and Thick Skull means it's very hard to remove a Treeman. Now, we just talked about the line of scrimmage, and the line of scrimmage is the point at which your Wood Elf team takes hits. The rest of the time, it's probably going to be a blitz, and maybe you want to put a lineman in a bad place just to really force your opponent to roll some dice or something like that. So at the best, at the worst, you kind of want to be taking 1 to 2 hits per turn. That's it. Your team can't really sustain much more than that. Having a Treeman, if you can get him on the line, and if you can get him in place with 2 of your opponent's teammates, you're kind of winning the TVOP, okay? You've got 120k there. If you catch two players on the line of scrimmage that cannot disengage, that are not strong enough to tackle a strength 6 piece, then your opponent has two choices, really. Leave your players there and just let the Treeman have a couple of potentially 2 or 3 die blocks. Just linemen, right? Zombies, dwarf guys, just stack them up against the tree and hope they don't die. Absolutely fine. The other thing they can do is they can massively overcommit to take down the tree, and sometimes that can be really fun because you can bait your opponent into spending 4 or 5 activations of their team to focus on your 1 Treeman, leaving the other 9 or 10 players on your roster to play Blood Bowl, and then you get the numbers advantage. So the Treeman can be a great bit of bait. Mostly it is basically just a piece you put on the line because you have to put someone on the line, and this is a player that's not going to suffer for being on the line. So think of it as an expensive lineman with 1 billion armor points, and it works really nicely. Because of the inducements of this team, you may be able to induce a right stuff thing, so you may be able to get a bit of throw teammate, but I've not really looked through the star players by team yet, so it definitely, there might be a sneaky option there. Okay, so this is the second time I'm recording this, because the first time I missed out a lineman and I got really excited because I thought, wow, this is amazing, you get everything you want. Oh boy, was I very, very wrong about this. So the Wood Elf team looks wicked, and there's a ton of cool stuff you can do with it. But if you pick up 1 box, it's going to be a little bit on the ropey side for you. The players are a bit of an awkward cost, and because of that, this is realistically, if you want to run Wood Elves, you want to pick up some Wood Elves and put them on the pitch, this is where you're beginning. 2 Wardancers, 2 catchers, 1 thrower, 6 linemen, 11 players, and that comes in with enough money left over to get 1 reroll. And that makes this roster a bit awkward to begin with. 11 players, 1 reroll. Now, if you are going to be going this way in League, there's some stuff you can do. You can plow in the dedicated fans, but it is a rough start. So if you want to get Wood Elves on the pitch to try them out, and you only want to buy 1 box, you can do this. That's absolutely fine. You'll get to play with those Wardancers. You'll get to play with the thrower and the catcher and actually do a load of stuff. And you'll really learn how Wood Elves can be great. And I promise you, with this roster, you will learn how they cannot be great as well. Now, we'll go into this more in detail when we do the starting rosters videos. But when it comes to Wood Elves, you're going to need a second box for those linemen. You're going to need a second box for those linemen. And I think what happens then is you drop a catcher and then you can take your second reroll. Now, you don't want to be dropping a Wardancer, but you can definitely drop a catcher, but you only get 6 linemen in the box, so you cannot do it. The only thing you could do potentially is try and convert a thrower into a lineman to make that happen. But I love all the positionals. You're just going to need an extra lineman if you want to run Wood Elves, I think. Okay, so Wood Elves. They look really good. They are vulnerable. They are fragile, but they are powerful. And well, not powerful, but they're fast. They're explosive. Explosive is the word I was looking for. This team, we talked about the Wardancers. We talked about the catchers being fantastic. They are both really primed for a stat up because they actually have space to gain movement. 9 is the most movement you can take. A movement 9 Wardancer, hello. A movement 9 catcher is a gutter runner. We like those. So actually there's a really interesting path here that because those stat ups are now 14 SPP, it is a long way to go. But if you think about the Wardancer, he doesn't need much to start with. And if you think about the catcher, he's already got dodge. So, and you may be, getting some touchdowns there. 14 SPP, MVP, 3-4 touchdowns. It is a long way, but in Wood Elf land, that can just be kind of 2 games. So I am looking forward to taking those Wardancers, because they don't really need stuff straight away. Yeah, tackle piece would be really useful. Yeah, strip ball is going to be really fun. Actually, a little bit of patience. You could get a movement 9 Wardancer or a movement 8 strength 4 Wardancer. I feel like we're back in the realm, or a badge 1+ Wardancer. That'll help leaping, let me tell you. We're back in the place where those stat ups start giving you the chance to brew up some really epic players, and I quite like that. It's not as like, oh, I rolled double sixes just for the lols, I pass go, get 200k and strength 6 lineman. That's gone. Now it's a case of like, all right, you know what? Ooh, it's 10 SPP for something really special. It's 14 SPP for something really, really special. I think Wood Elves are the team where you kind of take that punt, especially on those Wardancers. In a tournament, don't worry about it. But for League, oh, it's tempting. Anyway, I'm very excited for Wood Elves, which is nice, really nice, because last edition I was like, yeah, they're okay. You know, I got my 7-2 victory at Wobble, which is the most touchdowns ever in one game. I think in this edition, you might be able to pull off a little bit more. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy leaping.